Abortion in the medieval times was illegal and generally seen as a grave sin, but this didn't always stop women from seeking ways to end pregnancies. Let's look at what women would have to go through in order to undergo this procedure, which is now relatively safe and easily accessible. If you enjoy exploring how medical practice has changed through the ages, please subscribe to my channel, Doctor of the Ages. Given the fact that the church strongly condemned abortion, the law could result in severe punishments like excommunication or even execution. This applied to women who sought abortions as well as those who provided them. So women seeking abortion had to be very careful where they went to get assistance. Women living in rural communities may have sought help from neighbours or female relatives who they trusted and that they knew were knowledgeable in folk medicine. They may be able to share secret or traditional methods of dealing with unwanted pregnancies. These methods were largely dangerous and not usually based on any sort of medical understanding. In larger cities, there was usually better access to traders and street vendors, so women could buy specific herbs or potions to try and end their pregnancies. There were also underground markets where women could obtain herbal remedies or questionable potions from people willing to take advantage of their desperation. Sometimes midwives or healers might have been willing to offer illegal abortion services in secret, though they did risk being severely punished by authorities. So we can appreciate that it would have been highly difficult and risky for women seeking abortions compared to the modern day. Let's explore some of the recommended methods that were used by pregnant women to induce abortion in the medieval era. Specific herbs or concoctions, often in the form of teas, tinctures or poultices, were used to induce miscarriage. Pennyroyal, tansy, rue and mugwort were some of the herbs known to be used. Pennyroyal was one of the more commonly used herbs, and it was thought that this caused the uterus to contract and subsequently stimulate miscarriage. Although it is now known that this herb can cause uterine contraction, it can also be toxic, and taking incorrect doses could lead to serious complications like kidney damage, liver damage, or even death. The other herbs mentioned could also cause serious consequences if taken incorrectly, and the success of these remedies was very unclear and uncertain. So it seems that using these herbs based on the recommendation of untrained women or buying them from underground markets could be dangerous and even life-threatening, given dosing would likely be based on trial and error. Midwives involved in abortions would actually recommend similar herbs, but it's likely that they would have better knowledge and experience with regards to dosing and administration. Sometimes physical methods were recommended to help induce abortion. These methods could be used alongside the herbal remedies that we've mentioned. Physical methods included encouraging the pregnant woman to engage in intense physical exertion, like jumping, heavy lifting, and vigorous walking, for example. Other methods included applying pressure to the abdomen by massage or physical force to try and expel the fetus. According to modern-day research, we know that there is no evidence that intense physical activity or massage can induce miscarriage. These methods were also risky and could cause serious injury to the pregnant woman. Physicians did sometimes get involved with abortions, but often didn't believe in the folk remedies of midwives. Abortion was often based on a very different set of theoretical medical principles, including the concepts of humours and the balance of bodily fluids. So some physicians may have tried bloodletting or purging techniques to try to rebalance a woman's humours. These methods could have led to serious and unintended consequences for the health of the pregnant woman and would very unlikely induce successful miscarriage. Other physicians did prescribe herbal remedies, and although they were similar to those used by midwives, their knowledge was more theoretical as opposed to practical, so they were likely less familiar with their potency and risks. Some more knowledgeable physicians might have attempted surgical methods of abortion, such as dilation or manual extraction. These methods were extremely dangerous at that time, as there were no modern sterilization techniques and surgical tools were primitive. These factors would likely increase the incidence of complications like infection or hemorrhage, which could be life-threatening. Abortion became legal in the UK in 1968, which means women can now freely access clinics that offer medical and surgical abortion. The methods used are evidence-based and relatively safe. Women are also followed up to ensure any complications are treated early on. The mortality rates from abortion is now 1 in 100,000, and although we don't have figures from the medieval times, the mortality rate in 1966, just before abortion became legal, was 47 in 100,000. So I'm sure we can appreciate how much higher it would have been in the medieval era. I hope you found this video informative and interesting. If you did and would like to explore similar content, then please follow my channel, Doctor of the Ages.